2014 meeting. We're starting now. First on the agenda, as always, is going to be finances. Brian, if you want to go ahead and give us all a rundown of kind of where we're at, how everything's looking, and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. We had in the last week 2 founders dues come in. That was you and myself, and we had another payment of $10 from Josh towards his November. Well, to finish off his October, and he's gonna get back with me next week to pay his November dues.
Okay.
So we had a total of $106.50 in the last week. Uh, we had a check go out to the Delta Bike Project for rent. That was $350. And we had our first auto draft of our regular AT&T Uverse payment. So that was a total. That was $46.50. So, hang on. So we had outgoing payments of $396.50. Our current account balance overall is $693.82.
All right. Well, that should be pretty good then for this month.
Yeah.
That's minus all the rent and everything. $693.
Yes.
Wow. Sweet.
Well, that kind of brings us next to the. So I received a sublease from Jeff. Let me actually go into. I received a sublease from Jeff. Jeff has completed the lease takeover from the rumor union and all that kind of stuff. So we have reset the lease. One of the nice things is he was able to negotiate. I don't know if everybody was aware, but in July of 2015, June or July, we were going to have our rent go up to by about $100 or $200 total for the building, and based on this new lease, it's going to go that now until November of 2015. So instead of in June or July, it will be going back to the the original year-long thing. So it should be that'll be nice in terms of our stuff. Let me see if I can get my Jeff wants to talk a little bit about upping our stuff. We would get access then to the vault next door. I think for him, it would occur in January, is what he's looking at. I will send this to everyone, and so that everybody can take a look at it before we go ahead and sign it. So basically, the terms of the lease. The term of the sublease is 1 year, beginning November 1st, 2014. Rent is $350 per month, payable in advance of the 25th 25th day of each month, beginning in November. Rent will increase to, and then he left that blank for right now because we need to sit down and talk about that. The rent is payable to the Delta Bike Project at address, all that kind of stuff. So, and then it goes through. Basically, it's a boilerplate sublease agreement that I'm sure he grabbed off the internet somewhere. It basically, it's a shared, it basically says subtenant understands that the premises is a shared space that engages people of all socioeconomic statuses, and this is a responsibility of the subtenant to ensure that all their property and belongings are secured. So we need to make sure our door is locked. He's not going to be responsible if we have things stolen that are not in the not locked up. We agree to maintain a list of all mobile makerspace key holders and update that list at least monthly. There's really not, most of the rest of the stuff starts getting like the legalese and all that kind of stuff. So I will send this out to everybody so that we can all take a look at it, so we can get it signed and get it back to him once we've determined. One of the things that we do get, I think he wants to basically raise our rent to $400 a month. That would give us access to that other room where the vault is, and then also we would be covered under his insurance for the building. So he's having to get some extra insurance to cover our organization, but that would make us fully, that would give us full coverage and all that kind of stuff. We'd have to sit down and take a look at what everything covers, but um,
For $50 more?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. His big thing is he wants to get, kind of get a little bit of help with that kind of stuff. And he is doing pretty well, I think, with the Delta Bike project. They kind of want to use the vault to store some of the more expensive bikes that they have. But the rest of that space in there and whatever space isn't being used in the vault we would share that space. So we were taking a look at that on Tuesday. When
You mean the room and the vault, or just the vault?
The room and the vault.
Okay.
Yeah. He basically said he did want to have some space reserved in the vault to store some of the bikes that they have that are in better condition. They're worth more money that they don't want to store outside, and that kind of stuff. So, but other than that, he really didn't have a use for the room. And he'd much rather, if he can, get a little bit more money out of us, go ahead and allow us to use that space. They want to paint it. It's got a lot of, it's a lot of utility boxes that have been on the wall that have been taken off. There's just white spots on the wall. There's lots of, holes to be plugged in the wall and that kind of stuff. But he's very open to figuring out what we want to do with that space. Based on that increase by about $50. So I'll get the specifics from him, and then but I will also send out the sublease out to everybody. It's incomplete based on the rent increase that would occur in January, and then there will be probably another rent increase that will occur in November of next year, but that will be split between the two of us based on, I think, at that point we can just, kind of figure out square footage wise, if we're only consuming maybe 25 to 30% of the space, then, he would be, take I would think anyway, he would take more of a stake in that, and then we would just pick up the slack for whatever's left over. But that increase, I believe, I'll have to verify, but I believe that increase is only $100 across the board, and that's a year from now. The other thing that he was curious about was the ceiling tiles that we have in the common area. We are talking about trying to get out, I think he's going to have somebody come on up and pick up the screen printing machine and get it out of the space. And he's giving them to the end of this month, basically till tonight or tomorrow night, for the rumor union to finish getting their stuff out, and then whatever's left over is either ours or it goes in the trash. So if there's anything anybody's been looking at over there, we might want to check out this weekend. Otherwise, it may end up in the trash if nobody's willing to take ownership of it. The screen printing press is neat, but I just don't know who's going to take the time to actually sit down and start messing with that thing, and it takes up a tremendous amount of space in the shared area. So unless anybody has any objections, I'm going to go ahead and give him the go-ahead to. I think he's got somebody that's interested in it. They're just going to come pick it up. So does anybody have any objection to somebody else coming and picking up that screen printing machine for the T-shirts?
No, not really. I mean, it's
No.
awesome, and I'd love to use it, but realistically, unless somebody's experienced and they're actually going to use it, it doesn't do us any good.
Yeah, and I mean, really, if especially these days, I mean, we can either get a local shop or go on the internet and make T-shirts, fairly quickly. In terms of all that. So I don't know that, I mean, the screen printing machine it would be fun to use, but without a clear goal in mind, it's mostly just really taking up a lot of space in that shared room.
It might be something just to ping past the rest of the group to see, because it really kind of depends on members. Maybe somebody has that in mind. I don't think that anybody does, but maybe an email out to the members or something.
Yeah, I'll post something up. I'll let Jeff know that we're going to post something up on the Facebook and the Google Plus pages, and then I guess if whatever I post up on there, Dana, if you want to just copy and paste that into an email to the mailing list that we have, and then just let them know maybe by, I don't know, Thursday of next week, like, if somebody's interested in it, they need to come get it. But I'll write something up tomorrow and post it up on Google Plus and Facebook, and then you can copy and send that out to the general mailing list if you feel like it.
Okay.
All right. As far as the ceiling tiles goes, he was curious to know whether we're going to actually go ahead and put in our drop ceiling. And I think he was mostly worried about damaging the tiles and also the taking up space on that wall. I know that we had sort of put that on hold because of all the stuff going on with the room reunion and all that. But now that we've gotten that sorted out, I don't know, what is everybody's feelings as far as maybe trying to get that project knocked out and getting those ceiling tiles installed. We would need to order. I think it was around $200 for the frame.
Correct.
Okay. Does anybody know, Dana? Do you know what all we need to get to do that? I'm not sure. I've never done a drop ceiling before.
I haven't done it either, but I've gone through and like done the plans and the stuff board already, and it's enough that in the stuff's available local.
Okay.
Do it. So even if my numbers are off by a few or something, it's not that big of a deal.
Mhm. Mhm. I think it would be good. I mean, it would put a nice finish on a lot of the work that we've done on the space, and it would also then put those ceiling tiles to use, which we've had sitting, kind of over there for a while. I don't know if we want to choose like a weekend to, get all the materials together, and then, I don't know how many. I can bring some step ladders and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I wouldn't imagine it wouldn't take but like a Saturday afternoon or something like that to get it installed, right?
That's what I expect.
Okay. Um, I know November's probably pretty crazy for everybody. December's going to be pretty crazy too, but maybe early December, unless unless we have interest in doing it early November. I know we've got the Raspberry MC thing going on the 8th. and then I think we've got the Arduino stuff going on the 22nd. So we've got the 15th. I will not be around, but the 29th, the last week in November, we could maybe do it then. Does anybody have a preference? Do we want to do it maybe the first week of December or the last week of November?
I don't have a preference. I mean, either one works for me.
Okay. Let's try and schedule it, I guess, for the 29th of November. Let's try and get it done before the end of November.
So that'll probably be like, that's a college rivalry weekend.
Doesn't bother me any.
Well, Dana, is it better for you then if we do it on December 6th then?
No, we can do it then. That's fine.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm not a big football person, so either weekend for me is fine. Do you have a bill of materials and all that kind of stuff, Dana?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you need? Can you get with Brian and either do? I guess you said we're going to get it ordered locally. Do you want to? And that's a lot of money to just shell out. Do you want to get with Brian? Would you be available one of the weekends, but either that Saturday or one of the Saturdays before to meet up with Dana and actually pick up some stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could.
Okay.
Yeah, and even in the case, I mean, it's gonna be under $200.
Okay.
So it's not that big of a deal to stick it on a credit card and,
just get paid back for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, as we get closer to the 29th, it's not going to be anything that we need to order and make sure that they've got parts, or they've got inventory for it. It's something pretty standard, I would imagine.
Yeah, they have it. It's like, 1,500 pieces available at Lowe's on Schillinger, 1,200 pieces available at Lowe's on, it's.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. All right. Well, that should make that fairly simple then. Shelving. I know we did. We got some. Dana got some shelving done earlier this week. That was fantastic. We've still got quite a bit. You said a lot of the wood that we dropped off, it wasn't good enough shape to turn into the shelves.
Yeah, it's twisted and cupped and.
Yeah. So I guess we need to figure out, at least on the big table. I don't know if we want to do it on the small table since it sort of is already a little bit shorter with that sort of chimney backing or whatever is there. I don't know what goes in there, but where the brick kind of comes out from the wall. Do we want to do both, or do you think we would want to just do the longer table on the left?
I would just do the longer one.
Okay. So we really just need, I guess, is it 3 or 4 that go across there?
It's 4.
4.
So we need 8.
So we'd need 8.
The table's about 8 foot long too. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little bit shorter, but it's close to that.
Okay. I'll find out what it would cost us for the 2x4s and all that kind of stuff. I may just go ahead, like maybe the day that we purchase the stuff for the drop ceiling, Dana, I may just meet you down wherever you're going to buy it and just buy the 2x4s so that we can get the load up the shelves, 2x4s in the back of your truck as well, if we can fit everything. And then we can get both of those sort of knocked out in one day. Because I would imagine, I mean, if we have more than, if we have 4 people down there, more than 2 people in any one area is probably going to be too much anyway. So.
We're gonna need at least 3 to supervise.
Well, I'd be more than happy to supervise everybody, tell everybody what to do.
All right, now I'll bring my daughter just to make it clear that I'm not going to do anything and let her run around.
Sounds fantastic.
I was hoping to do it to do some this weekend, because I mean it's like 8 sticks. That's like $4 a piece or less for like kiln dried.
We can do it this weekend if you want to do it this weekend.
Yeah, I'd like to just to do it. 'Cause I think I'll have some free time Saturday morning.
Okay. I can meet you. I can meet you Saturday morning this Saturday, and we can take a look at it and get it taken care of.
'Cause it'd be nice to get the backing cut out and installed too, so it
Get the
all looks nice.
pegboard and all that.
Yeah, the pegboard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I believe I'll have to verify that, but I believe that I'll be available this weekend.
Okay.
The next thing I was going to talk about is storage space. We do need to sort of figure out what's the space and what's kind of general stuff that we need to keep down there, but then other stuff, kind of what we're going to do in terms of storage. If everybody would kind of think about that just as we start to get more equipment down there. We definitely want to try to keep the benches pretty lean, just because with the Shapeoko, the laser cutter, the 3D printer, we can chew up that space fairly quickly. For the most part, I've been trying to sort of pack in what I've been working on, for the night, and then pack it back out when I leave. I may get like a Rubbermaid tub to keep some stuff down there. But what we definitely don't want is just a bunch of parts and that kind of stuff sitting on the shelves. And right now it's not an issue, but at some point, if we start running into issues with space and stuff like that, that we may need to look at maybe trying to figure out what the cost is really. When I went to the Next Fab in Philadelphia, that was the main thing that he talked about. Basically, was that space came at a premium. They had a bunch of lockers set up, as well as storage bins that you could basically get standardized Rubbermaid things, and then those would cost based on they offered, like, I think, two sizes. One, they were basically the same width and depth, but they were the different heights. So you could get, if you got a 2-stacker or a 3, I think they were stacking like 2 or 3 in a shelf space versus a full height Rubbermaid. They would charge one price for one and one price for another. And basically you were sort of required, after you were done working, you'd pack up your tools and whatever you're working on into those bins. We will definitely have some stuff that is just general space. Obviously screwdrivers, hammers, some general tools, I would imagine. I've got some stuff I can donate, but for a lot of the stuff that we have for the projects that we're working on and that kind of stuff, we do want to try to come up with a system. Just everybody keep that in mind, as we go forward. At some point, we are going to have to come up with an organization system where, everybody sort of packs their stuff away, at least clears off the bench when you leave for the evening, to make sure that the next person that comes in has a clean, open workspace to work in, and that kind of stuff. So, just to keep that in mind. One thing I was going to ask about is the meeting time. I think the day is good. I think Thursday is a good day to have a meeting. Is everybody still good with 9:30? Should we move it up I don't know if everybody's really happy with it, or I don't want to keep doing it, at a time that's inconvenient for anybody. So if anybody has any suggestions or any requirements to maybe move it up in the day, or keep it at the same time, um, I just was curious if anybody had any opinions on the matter.
Go Saints.
All right, so we'll go ahead and keep that. One thing, so the next thing we got is membership levels. Um, Rick, I know you had been working on a lot of this kind of stuff. Do you have anything to report?
Yeah, anyway, I've got the document written and I've submitted it to the rest of the committee, just waiting to get some feedback on it. It's basically laid out just like the Dallas Makerspace, and but it's been, of course, modified for us because they do things a little bit differently. But they were the simplest ones we could find and had very similar pricing. So we've laid it out, and it's kind of like a almost like a rules and policies document they had, and it talks about bringing in guests and what to do with minors and all that kind of stuff as well. But it does have the price list on it and what each one gets and how they qualify for each pricing level.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about it in terms of generally what you guys are thinking in terms of the levels? One of the things that I
Well,
had
the
thought about.
levels are all the same, pretty much. The only difference is there's a price difference if you qualify for being if you're a student, unemployed, underemployed, or retired, and then there's a family member. And the only difference between a family member add-on is that you have to be at the full level, which is I believe 35 a month for the full level, and that's the only that $10 a month add-on doesn't get voting rights. Everything else is the same.
Okay.
Makes it simple.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I wonder, from the perspective of just kind of getting the space started. Um, did you guys look at, or did you guys discuss any sort of pay what you want style model?
I discussed it, and it really didn't sound like it was going to go over well because it was complicated.
In terms of sort of what you would get for basically, uh, for whatever you gave and that kind of stuff. Is that what you mean?
It was we were looking at it kind of like a credit, where you would have like your own account and you could put in what you wanted at any time, and your dues would just basically come out of that, and you could add to it either financially or through teaching classes that would give you a percentage, and they said the people on the committee said that it sounded way too complicated for now. So it might be something to look at later.
Okay. Just curious if you guys had looked at anything like that, just in terms of as we try to build up membership, um, especially right now, we're still kind of light on though a lot has changed in the last couple of weeks. We've got the Shapeoko, we've got the laser cutter, if we can get that all working and that kind of stuff. Really, to be honest, the greatest interest everybody keeps talking about, they want to come in and they want to print stuff. One thing that we may look at is maybe trying to get more than one printer for the space. I don't know if we can maybe look at trying to find a grant or figure out a budget and try to make that the next piece of equipment that we purchase with whatever surplus we have, and that kind of stuff, because there seems to be a tremendous amount. I mean, that is what everybody thinks about when they think about the makerspace, and everybody has sort of ideas on they want to come down and they want to print stuff. So it would be kind of cool, I think, for us to try and capitalize on that kind of stuff. So maybe we should try to look at that and figure out what we would do for people who are not members, to have access to the printers and everything.
Here's a question for you too. I know there's people that say they want to print stuff, but do they really know how to print stuff, and do they really want to print stuff?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, most of the people that have said they want to print stuff, I mean, they either know CAD, some form of CAD, whether it be SketchUp, FreeCAD, a lot of the newer Autodesk stuff, the free stuff, Design 123.
I know one person that would be like that. That new guy, Mr. Ray, I believe, Michael Ray. What's his name? The guy that always brings in the Mac and he shows up for everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we have more.
Yeah. Dana had some kids. Some of the kids that come down for the game night actually came down tonight, and he worked with them to actually get them printing and doing some stuff.
Okay, well that's cool. How many were there?
That's three. Well, it was a family that came to the 3D printing, and then they came to the Raspberry Pi. I think it's Ox, maybe.
Yeah, the ones with the kids, those boys.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Yeah. Then yeah, that makes better sense now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that if we can start to advertise even nights where come on down, we'll work with you to get stuff printed. I mean, obviously we're not going to be able to design some stuff for people, but there's actually quite a few people that have been messing around with designing things in 3D, especially these days with so many tools available, Maya, Blender, Tinkercad, SketchUp. There's all kinds of different stuff that they can use now, and I think it would be a good thing for us to try and maybe advertise some of that stuff to try and draw some people in to actually get some stuff printed, and hopefully then turn those people into paying members that would then come in, on a regular basis. They want access to those 3D printers to do that kind of stuff, and hopefully turn them into members. So.
It might not be a bad project to put to build a rep wrap with them. I think the Pensacola Makerspace did that.
Yeah, well, the only thing I definitely think for certain people that is like they are very, very interested in building a 3D printer, but for some people, especially like the people that came in tonight, they're really more they want to be able to sort of come in and just print. You know what I mean? They don't want to necessarily get into um, building the machine and doing all that kind of stuff. Either based on, those kids are probably, too young to really have much in the way of, they take a tremendous amount of tinkering, tuning and that kind of stuff, which they probably would not be interested in. But I do think that there's a lot of stuff on the market these days that we could try to look at to meet the needs of the people that do have the interest and stuff.
Okay, it takes a lot to get a 3D printer, so we'll have to really plan that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we can try to start to plan something out to do over maybe over the course of like 3 or 4 months, or maybe even like 5, 6 months or something like that.
The printer bot ones are probably the ones to look at.
I thought about that. I've been looking at them pretty heavily and that kind of stuff. But my biggest fear with those is that the print quality is going to be a letdown for the people that don't have sort of a realistic expectation that you would get from, let's say, like a MakerBot or an Ultimaker or something like that. But if we're going to be doing that kind of stuff, I think that maybe, the same kind of way that we got this MakerBot on loan, we can maybe try to figure out, some grants. I mean, I know some organizations have been interested, I know Dana, you had some people contact you, several months ago about doing a presentation of kind of about what we do, and we're interested to know what kind of things we need. So there may be some support that we can start to draw upon. I mean, I know that the Delta Bike Projects has gotten a tremendous amount of grant money. Not only, well, Jeff has, not only for the Delta Bike Project, but also for some gardening projects around Mobile. Um, it would be probably worthwhile to look at tapping into that, some of that kind of stuff, to see if we can't get some grant money to get some more printers, um, and maybe some other equipment. So.
I know you might not want to hear this, but I did get an email from Carly at Mobile Public Library. They received their printers. They have their 3D printers.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. They got the replicator twos.
And now they got the Gen 5.
Oh, the Gen. Oh, wow. They got some really nice ones.
Yeah, they got a couple of them.
Very cool. Well, maybe we should all head up there and actually check them out, because I'd love to see, kind of how easy they are to set up, how easy is it to get a print out of it that's kind of worthwhile and that kind of stuff. So I'd love to check that equipment out.
And she says also she's got the Raspberry Pi kits on order, and I think she says she's going to have them this weekend. So they're getting geared up for Pi Day next year.
Cool. Did they get Arduinos and all that kind of stuff, or yet?
Got Arduino kits and makeys and a bunch of other things.
Okay.
The egg box. Yeah.
I may need to get with them and see if we can't borrow some of those Arduino kits for some of our workshops and stuff.
Yeah, they said that. Yeah, we'd be able to do that.
Yep. Just looking at the. We've got November Art Walk coming up on the 14th of November. I really think it would be good to set the printer up out in front of the building. I don't know, with the temperature, it may not be very conducive to doing that. I don't know if the Delta Bike Project is going to be open or not. We do get a lot of foot traffic by the building, but if the Delta Bike Project is not open, it's rather difficult for us to get people to actually venture, into the building at all. I would like to try and get some stuff out on the sidewalk in front of the open garage door, to try and get some people to at least pass by and just check us out. Sign up for the newsletter and all that kind of stuff. And I know we've got enough extension cords and power strips and all that kind of stuff. We could try and set a lot of stuff up outside. That a lot of that depends on the weather. If it's too cold or rainy or whatever, that doesn't really work very well. But it would probably be a good idea for us to try and look at maybe trying to set the 3D printer up and have it printing something, even if it's just configuration cubes all night. It's just interesting for people to actually get to see the things in motion, get to see what we have. If we can try and get maybe the laser cutter available, and then have cutting out some patterns and some either poster board or whatever it would be. I think that would be pretty good. Rick, do you know do we have any idea what's all involved with getting the laser cutter up and going? I got your email the other day about we're basically we got it running through the motions, but it's the laser itself. We don't have the focus right.
The mirrors. I was looking at it. You can see it's got a red dot that it sends through, and you can see where it's coming up to the mirrors, and it's not right on the mirrors. So I know there's some adjustment. I didn't take those mirrors out, so I might see if I can get hold of William. He's the one that took them out. See if he remembers how they went back in. Other than that, I have to look online.
Yeah, yeah. We might want to try and contact the vendor, the original vendor of the machine, see if they can send us any kind of documentation on, you know, how to tune it. I
Be a
know I
problem. That thing is long out of support.
Yeah, but I mean I would imagine they've got some people still using them all over the place. So I mean,
Possibly. I want to look online and see if there's maybe some YouTube videos as well.
okay, all right. Um, who all is going to be available for this upcoming art walk on the 14th?
I'll
I'll
be
be there.
there.
Isn't this month nudes in November?
That is usually the theme for art walk in November. Yes.
This month's going to
Mhm.
be interesting because of the policy changes with vendors.
Yeah.
There's been
Yeah.
calls for like boycotting it. There's been, I don't know. It may just be a bust. Who knows?
Yep.
Well, do we want to take apart some electronics before to display them?
Products.
Oh
Well,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you've got some stuff you want to take apart, Josh, and have it on a table, out there next to the printers or something like that, I think that would be great. If we can kind of show something that would be interesting to see the insides of, maybe um, a TV or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be something good to have out on the table.
Sure. I've got a big pile of stuff.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
we
want to
don't
take
want
that
to
big screen TV?
do what?
Josh, you want to take that big screen TV we got here?
Oh, the 40-inch, the old
Yeah,
one.
the plasma TV.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not bad.
I would do something that has a point to it. I mean, if you're gonna kind of do
That
something.
thing, that thing is built to mil spec, old school.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to have an ultimate goal for whatever you're going to do. So, I mean, if you're going to take apart a TV or something like that, maybe try to explain the overall parts of some of the major circuit boards. I don't know if you want to do, component explanations, if you want to do kind of how an LCD or a plasma TV or whatever it is works.
Sure.
That I would have a little more to it than just having the cover taken off a TV.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
can do
no,
that.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
So I was planning on running the light rig
Oh yes, yeah,
and having a camera set up and running that.
yeah. That is going to be. I don't know if you guys have seen what Dana's been working on. We
Yeah,
had
it's real
discussed.
cool.
Yeah, we had discussed a little while ago about doing some light painting with LEDs. And Dana ran with it. He already got a rig built and has been taking some pretty neat pictures. Posted some this evening with some Pac-Man characters and stuff like that. So um, that's looking pretty neat. I think it would be cool to maybe try and get some pictures. If kids want to stand there while we like weave the light in between them with video game characters or whatever, it might be kind of cool to try and draw people in, and get some pictures taken, and just to sort of show, there's an artistic side also to the makerspace in terms of a lot of these things are just sort of neat projects. There doesn't have to be any grand design to them or anything like that. It's just they're fun things to work with.
I think the idea that you had, that's really good. And if others, think about something that brings in people, and then they can come back and look at the picture, or I could email it to them or something.
Hmm.
Definitely that involves people and gets them, to take the light stick, and say, okay, hey, well, this is an Arduino. This is this little controller. That's how it runs on that. And,
Right. And that's what, segues it right into, hey, we offer workshops. We do, we can show you how to, if you have an idea to do something, you come down, you can we can help you move you on your way to completing those projects.
It'd be really neat to be able to have like the projector outside and showing it real big. Some of those stills.
Yeah, it would. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's doing like a photo booth, and he's using the Wi-Fi SD cards. So it's like the SD card that's part Wi-Fi chip, part SD.
Uh-huh.
And so you're transferring the photos in real time. Like as you take them, then the photos getting transferred back, and then display it on a large monitor, so people can see them as instead of trying to run back and look at the back of the camera screen.
Right.
So that's a flow, and I'll talk to my friend. He has one of those cards to see if maybe it's something that we could do.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And that's something we could, assuming the weather's fine, we set it up outside, and that's another thing that gets people in.
Yeah, I don't think the cold is going to matter that, but if it's raining, it would.
Right.
Absolutely. I think that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
If we could have a portable rig and take it down to the square, that'd be even better.
Yeah, it would. I think it's at some time it would be. Patrick and I talked about just different ideas, going through town and taking pictures and things, and even doing it during doing art walk would be pretty cool if you had a way to do it.
Is it this Sunday? There's a Streets Alive thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing grew quite. It's like all awful now.
So would I have to walk into the space to come?
I'm not too sure about that because it said
This in my
behind us was going to have wiffle ball going on. So I don't know. You might have to go around St. Francis or whatever.
Gotcha. Sounds fun.
The other thing we've got then is going to be retro game night, which is actually funny enough going to be that Monday following the. It's just the way that it worked out this month. So we're going to have the art walk on the 14th, and then retro game night on the 17th. Which
That's usually how it works out.
is it well, it's normally. Is it normally the? I guess the second Friday. I guess the second Friday.
Monday. Or the third Monday.
Third Monday. Generally, anyway. Yeah. So we'll have that. Have retro game night on the 17th. Who's going to be available for the? One thing I will say. I was heading down there. There wasn't really. I didn't know who was going to be down there. Rick was able to make it down for a little bit, but we need to kind of make sure because I didn't realize I was going to basically be basically kind of the only person down there at the time. So, of course, now I got keys to open all the doors, which is nice. But we need to make sure. We don't end up with a night where everybody sort of assumes somebody else is going to be doing retro game night, and nobody shows up because there was a bunch of people waiting in the parking lot when I showed up this past weekend.
Well, I was planning to be there on time, but I had a flat tire.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. No worries. I just want to make sure. I'll be there on Monday. Is anybody else going to be able to make it that night for retro game night?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Mondays are pretty much off the books until next semester.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, Mondays are out for me.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. I just want to make sure because I just don't want to drop the ball and have a bunch of people waiting outside the space and nobody ever shows up. So, if just as long as I know that that's kind of what the deal is, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm usually opening the place on Monday nights anyway.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. All right. We've got the upcoming classes and workshops. We've got an appliance fix on 11/1. Josh, have you got all your stuff all situated for that?
Actually, I had discussed that with Rick some more, trying to figure out how that would work, and we decided that we weren't ready for it yet. Well, he didn't decide. I decided.
Okay. Dana, we don't have that published anywhere beyond just the meeting agenda?
No, no.
Okay. All right. That's good. We don't have to remove it
Well,
from
if we
here.
did, then I would have done it. So.
Okay.
You'd have been breaking a lot of things.
Right.
So we've got the Raspberry Pi BMC on 11.8, and I know Rick, you got Dana all your stuff. Dana, I still got to get you my stuff. Nathan gave me a bunch of stepper motors. I went online to Adafruit, and they are completely sold out of the motor party packs, of course. So I'm signed up for whenever they're back in stock. But luckily, Nathan was able to loan me about 4 or 5 stepper motors with drivers and all that kind of stuff for the Arduino. So we'll have some spares that we can actually show people. We won't have any servos. We won't have any servos, but we will have stepper motors.
How many servos do you need?
I don't know, probably 4 or 5, just to let people plug into and kind of play around with. I don't know if the Arduino can drive the servos directly, or if they need. I would imagine that they need that.
They can drive the micros directly.
Okay.
I could probably got 3 of those, maybe 4.
Okay. Yeah, if you've got some micro servos,
Dana's probably got some.
Yeah, I got a box full. I bought like 16 at one time.
Okay.
So it's.
It sounds like we're not going to have a problem with servos.
Okay. All right, sweet. Sounds good. Yeah, if you guys would then sort of drop those off at the space, and then I'll work on kind of working up some course material this Tuesday, whenever I'm down there, and then I'll. In the meantime, I'll get Dana. I'll get you all your information you need to be able to post it up on the website and publish that all out and everything.
Okay.
We've got the 3D printing on the 15th, and then the Arduino stuff on the 25th, which will be the workshop I was just discussing. So it's a pretty busy month. We got a lot of stuff going on. But I don't know. Dana had shown me today, and actually my wife saw it at work as well. The One Mobile Alliance posted some pictures of us and linked back to our website and drove some traffic there today, from what I understand, right, Dana?
Yeah, we had a good 90 90 new people that had never viewed the site before, and almost all of that was from Mobile. So that's a really positive thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I got to talk to one of the high-end people there. They were at the fairgrounds. I went and saw them Sunday afternoon and got to sat down and talk with them.
Awesome. No,
Do we
it's
have
always,
an article or whatnot? I mean, do we want to put that link on our website that links back to our website?
no. I mean,
Well, I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Get on Facebook.
Yeah, just hop on. It's just on Facebook. If you hop on Facebook and go to the Mobile Alliance Facebook page, they just posted a thing that just links back to our front page.
Yeah, they want to do a whole lot more with this of doing that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that'll be good. There's some good sort of, being in close proximity to Jeff. Jeff's got a lot of really good positive connections within the city in terms of publicity and stuff like that. So us being in sort of the same space, we get to sort of benefit from a lot of that. So yeah, absolutely, I think it's working really to our advantage. Well, that's pretty much it in terms of what we had on the agenda tonight. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, other topics that they wanted to discuss tonight?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well, as always,
I
go
have
ahead,
one.
Josh.
What about keys? What's the ongoing policy with keys? Because I know we were limited with
Yeah,
the.
we need to have. I mean, all the key holders, you need to be doing the founder member level or greater. I mean, if you want to donate more, but at least the founder level membership to have the keys. And we have to make sure, based on that sublease agreement that we have with Jeff, that we notify Jeff if we issue out any keys to anybody.
So yeah, there's quite a few people that are paying at that rate as well that do not have keys.
Right. And we're going to need to we may have to up it. I don't know if we want to have some sort of, I don't know. I mean, we may need to just keep it at the officers or whatever we need to do, because I don't know if Jeff really wants to have 1,000,001 keys. And and I completely understand that, but we will need to sort of figure out either.
If the building's open.
I'm sorry.
Would that be fair? At least an internal key. If the building's open, I could get in.
Oh, an internal key to our door?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there you still need to be doing some sort of. I would imagine at least the $35 to be able to open up that interior door when the space is open.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's not really fair to to people who are not who are paying money if they don't have access to the site, and we also don't want to get into a situation where we're handing out keys to people who aren't paying, and then somebody else comes along and says, well, so and so, I want a key. So we do have to come up with some guidelines, as far as, and making sure that it also, for the privilege of using the space, if you're getting access to the equipment and all that kind of stuff, that that we do, I mean that we're not trying to make a profit on it, but we are trying to build something. And so if people are in there using the equipment, using the materials, we do want to be collecting, some sort of donation, I would imagine.
Of course.
So, does anybody else have any questions or anything?
We haven't had a face-to-face meeting in a while. Is that something we want to plan out here?
That is very, very true. We definitely need to do
Like
that.
a social thing or something that.
Yeah, you're right, and we need to publish it on the website, so anybody that wants to come down, sort of like an open house, in conjunction with a meeting, probably. The 15th is the only weekend that is sort of out for me in November. I don't know if, I mean, we could do something this Saturday. Well, I guess we're sort of doing the shelves and stuff. I don't know when is a good weekend for you, Brian?
That last weekend in November would probably be the best.
The 29th?
Yeah.
Okay.
The weekend after that is South's Best up in Auburn.
Okay. Dana, what about you?
I mean, those are fine. There's nothing really Saturdays that I don't know. I don't get my agenda until the chief director tells me.
I hear you. Josh, is the 29th good for you as well?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I guess it is.
All right, Rick.
I just checked my calendar right now, and it is completely open on the 29th.
Okay.
Probably work better.
I'm sorry.
if we could do the evening, that'd probably work better. That's the day after my sister's birthday. It's the weekend after Thanksgiving, so the
Okay.
nighttime would probably be more clear than the day.
All right. I think what does everybody think about maybe doing bringing a grill down there and actually, cooking some hamburgers and actually just having a full-fledged making a day of it in terms of, anybody wants to drop by, we can publicize that on the website if people want to drop by the space, and that kind of stuff, as well as us, having a face-to-face meeting, kind of maybe working on some stuff, talking about some things, but then also just sort of being available to, answer any questions. Yeah, meet and greet, answer questions and show off the space and that kind of stuff.
I'm not going to turn down grilling.
All right. Well, I'll get a little throwaway grill. We can cook out some hamburgers and some hot dogs that weekend.
Oh, you don't want to do some more turkey?
Oh, we can do some. If you want to drag some turkey down there, man, I'll cook it. I'm gonna I'll have to wait till the end.
Bring some flaming turkey wings, man.
We're gonna launch a turkey?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
See if we can hit the RSA tower.
Animate one. Make it fly.
See, this is using servo motors stuffed into the gullet. All right.
The Arduino is adjusting the trajectory. Okay, yeah, definitely. I think that we'll settle on the 29th then, and then as we start to get closer, we'll get some information. I guess we'll get a little blurb, Dana, so we can post it, send it out to everybody, and we'll figure out what we want to do in terms of. We'll probably need to see what kind of the response back is too, to kind of figure out how much food and stuff like that we want to have.
Isn't that also like the day after Black Friday?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, that's like shopping. But
We need to hit hard and heavy membership for Christmas gifts.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Buy two and for the price of two.
What? 2 for the price of 2? 2 for the price of 4?
Spoken like the treasurer. Look at that.
Such a deal.
All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and let everybody free for the rest of their Thursday evening. And I appreciate everybody dropping in. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and stop it here then. And I guess I will, Dana, I'll get with you about getting my stuff taken care of, and we'll talk about the event on the 29th then.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds good, man. All right, guys. Well, everybody have a good Thursday evening.
All right. You too.
Thanks.